A question that comes up in media representation is how do we represent a people? For most of us throughout our childhood, our perceptions have been shaped by both the views of the people around us and what we see visually on TV and what we hear verbally also from TV. Jacqueline Kilpatrick, for instance, makes note, in terms specifically of film, that film is more than the instrument of representation, it is also the object of representation. It is not a reflection or a fraction of the real. I think this is an important point, that one of the most um, striking things about stereotypical depictions is that they are not a real depiction and instead do more to obscure a real depiction, as can be
The
contrasted
isolation
with
that's
other videos
attributed to the
of
formation of
actual
some mountain
Native American
environments
representation on,
also
say,
helped
YouTube.
Native Americans preserve their heritage in the rising tide of European culture.
Antawal Kistuisi, it talks about where the Indians used to use a cloth to make a medicine. When they used to use, they had to have a cloth to put their medicine on, and that's what he's talking about on that song. A frog bowl. Got the what? They can screw you. Too last nigga gun. No one. That's how I was making pottery.
I think where much of the real damage that comes from stereotyping in this manner is not necessarily that, say, from in these clips from Peter Pan, that the depictions are necessarily malicious in their intent. It is, after all, a children's movie. It's meant to be fun, but of their kind of blurring of the real, of the truth, of, say, actual realities of Native American culture.
I'm going to explain a little bit about Indian marriage, the difference between non-Indians and Indians. An Indian man can never divorce a woman. Only the woman can divorce him. And that's what they call, the reason we put the blanket on him, they call that splitting the blanket. See, all the woman has to do is give him his weapons, his clothes, and his tools. Put him outside the door, close the door, that's it. But that's not what we're here for now. Remember.
Elizabeth Bird makes note that stereotyping and characterization ultimately, even if it's not, again, malicious, does ultimately serve to delegitimize American Indian issues. In the previous Pan clip, we see both a squaw stereotype and a princess stereotype. Not realistic depictions of Native American sort of realities, especially when you contrast that with an actual genuine wedding clip and ceremonial ritual. Overall, I believe that's where kind of the core of why depictions like this become inherently problematic.